Hey movie buffs! Sometimes the most powerful and unexpected relationships emerge when people are separated by a vast age gap. Today, we've rounded up 10 films and TV series where an older woman and a younger man find themselves drawn into passionate and deeply emotional relationships.
Tutor, 2018. A young man gets a job as a tutor and unexpectedly finds himself in a relationship with an older woman. At first, everything seems harmless, simple conversation, light flirtation. But gradually, the situation becomes increasingly tense and even dangerous. The film explores themes of power, manipulation, and emotional dependence. Here, love is intertwined with control, and it becomes difficult to discern where feelings end and the game begins.
Old Enough, 1984. A young man finds himself involved in a relationship with a woman significantly older than him. For him, it seems like an exciting adventure, a way to feel more grown up. But for her, things are far more complicated. Behind her interest lies loneliness and a desire to recapture lost emotions. Gradually, their relationship grows beyond a casual crush and begins to impact their lives far more deeply than they expected. This is a story about boundaries, growing up, and the consequences of rash decisions.
Prime, 2005. Rafi is a confident, successful woman who has been through a lot and isn't looking for an easy relationship. But her life unexpectedly changes when she meets David, a young, sincere, and slightly naive man who literally bursts into her world. Their romance begins as a casual fling, full of passion and emotion, but gradually develops into something deeper. However, things become more complicated when an unexpected truth is revealed. Rafi's therapist is David's mother. From that moment on, the relationship turns into a real emotional struggle. Rafi begins to doubt, can such love be real, or is it just an illusion? The film subtly depicts the fears, societal pressures, and internal conflicts that people face when they choose their feelings against logic. Rambling Rose, 1991. A young woman comes to work in the home of a wealthy family and quickly attracts the attention of those around her. Over time, she becomes close to each member of the family, including the younger men. Her openness and thirst for love create complex emotional bonds that transcend conventional norms. The film explores themes of growing up, the desire for acceptance, and finding one's place in the world. It's a touching yet complex story about how love can take many different forms. Alfie is a young man accustomed to casual, no-strings-attached relationships. His life is filled with short-lived romances and superficial connections. But everything changes when he meets a mature woman who doesn't play by his rules. She's confident, knows what she wants, and isn't afraid to speak her mind. Their relationship becomes a true test for Alfie. For the first time, he encounters feelings that can't be simply ignored or replaced. This story is about growing up, responsibility, and the realization that true intimacy requires much more than mere attraction. Loverboy, 2005. A young man struggling to cope with life's difficulties begins working as an escort. His clients are older women, each with their own stories and inner struggles. At first, it's simply a way for him to make money, but over time, everything changes. One of the women becomes especially important to him. Their relationship goes beyond formality and develops into a complex emotional bond. The film shows how easy it is to get lost in other people's expectations and how difficult it is to find oneself. It's a story about the search for love, acceptance, and understanding in a world where everything seems temporary.
La Passion Béatrice, 1987. Set in medieval France, the story follows a young woman's fate as she becomes entangled in the cruel and complex world of adults. The story centers on a woman whose life is filled with pain, repressed emotions, and difficult trials. Against this backdrop, complex and sometimes troubling relationships with younger men develop. The film is filled with a dark atmosphere and shows how power, trauma, and forbidden feelings can intertwine dangerously.
What Comes Around, 2022. A contemporary story about a young woman who begins communicating with a guy online. But as the story unfolds, an older woman intervenes, changing the dynamic of the relationship. The plot gradually evolves into a tense psychological drama where trust becomes the main stake. The film explores themes of manipulation, illusion, and how easily one can become drawn into a dangerous situation, especially when emotions cloud one's judgment. Conversations with Other Women, 2005. A chance encounter at a wedding turns into a long and frank conversation between a man and a woman. At first, it seems like light flirtation, but gradually the dialogue reveals a much deeper story. They share a past that lingers and feelings that have never been fully processed. Despite the difference in age and life experience, a strong attraction develops between the characters. Their conversations are filled with humor, pain, and honesty. The film shows how difficult it can be to let go of the past, and how sometimes one encounter can change everything. This is a story about how love doesn't always come at the right time, but it always leaves a mark. Daddy Longlegs, 2005. This story unfolds slowly and delicately. A young girl receives support from a mysterious patron who helps her with her life and education. Over time, a special bond develops between them, based on trust, gratitude, and emotional intimacy. When the truth is revealed, the characters face a difficult choice. Their relationship transcends the ordinary and forces them to reflect on what true love is. The film is filled with an atmosphere of tenderness, slight sadness, and hope. It shows how feelings can grow gradually, transforming into something sincere and profound.
So here's our selection of films and TV series about relationships between an older woman and a younger man. Some stories were romantic, others were very difficult and even shocking. But each one shows that feelings don't always obey the rules and expectations of society. Let us know in the comments which film from the list you liked the most, and be sure to share your favorite films on this topic. They might be included in the next selection. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new top films and TV series.